Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far, and Crimsix simply cannot stop delivering the content. In a Twitter post he put out yesterday about the Huke video, which is still coming relatively soon, quite some revelation about what the Dallas Empire were trying to do when Huke was originally getting removed from the team. Intriguing your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. I've already upset the channel, thank you very much indeed for doing that. Also, thank you very much for 65,000 subscribers we hit just a couple of days ago. YouTube's still telling me that about 50% of you guys watching this will not yet be subscribed to the channel. With the stage 5 major, the World Championships, with all the roster media drama coming up, maybe that big red button could be your best friend. Let's just dive into things then, because Waskin, Scraps, there's been a fair bit of discussion there. What's going to go on during this off-season? Is Scraps going to retire from competitive Call of Duty in the CDL side? Is he going to play Warzone next season with his brother? And well, Waskin's having some discussion right here. CDL's lost our game with KSE Gaming, looking to potentially sign someone on that side of things. I'm pretty sure Waskin went to the stream on like Facebook or something relatively recently. That's kind of interesting, certainly. But still, a lot of players this off-season have had a difficult time after Waskin had a difficult time, and Scraps really during last off-season didn't really look like either of them were getting onto a CDL team for a time. I'm sure it'll be the same this time around really with some other players if we do not get expansion that comes in. But one player that might be alright for is Yeez joining the Florida Mutineers yesterday. So with Slack surpassing a few days ago from their substitute bench, they needed someone to fill the spot. Yeez is going to be that man. And to be fair to Ogre 2 and the general management staff over there, they've done a phenomenal job these last couple of seasons in scouting young talent and then bringing him through to the starting team. Neptune and Awakening have really been revelations for that squad as of late, and certainly phenomenal players. Now what happens with that squad next season, that is certainly a big question mark. I'm sure some of those players, well other squads I'm sure will be targeting some of them, but Yeez has been one of the hottest prospects I think in North American challenges as of late, and he's someone that they're signing here and snapping up, and well could be someone to keep your eyes on going forward if well Mutineers history of getting these young players in is anything to go by. Wanted to mention this as well because one of the big questions about New York subliners has been DiamondCon. Can he even get to the US, to Texas, for to play this major in just a few days time? Seems like that will be the case. They got this sorted out. That was really where kind of incredible to think about really, but when a team initially had these visa issues, couldn't get up to the States, like the implications of that for then the rest of what's happened these last several months has been pretty ridiculous, to be honest, for the New York subliners. That really was instigated all the problems that stem from there. Seems like DiamondCon will be able to get out. They're kind of funny, like they just, I think Zuma did something similar, right? Just do like a tweet about United and apparently New York subliners gonna get you some sort of free flight. So whatever the case may be, but anyway, probably going to be in Texas now, and they should have the team that they actually want to have for this major. But certainly speaking of the New York subliners, we have something to say. Crimsix does a tweet yesterday. The rest of the thread is still up. The first tweet is interestingly disappears, but as Octane says right here, you're hyping this video like an album release, better be absolute fire. We've been talking about this video for like over a month at this point. I'm sure it's going to be like underwhelming given the amount of hype it's been getting, but well, he goes on to explain right here. Thanks very much to those of you who pointed out the actual the screenshot of what was initially tweeted by Crimsix. Update. Video got approved by both Envy and Activision. So this is the video, like Huke of course did the video like 25 or so minutes. It was on June the 8th or something that came out on, and Huke had an awful lot to say about how he felt the Dallas Empire treated him and what happened at the previous World Championship and moving to Los Angeles Thieves and all the rumors that were going around about him behind the scenes. And Crimsix maybe felt that a lot of what had been said was kind of defamatory, and he decided, okay, I'm going to put my own video out. So this video has been approved already by Envy and Activision. I think he said he recorded it last week sometime, but my legal counsel, I love how he loves just dropping this in every single time he gets the opportunity to do so, did not approve it. So I'm going to post some things that'll help fill the gaps for you guys regarding exactly what happened during that roster change period. I've recorded 2 takes already, third and final take after champ. So seems like the video's it's going to take its time here. Got approved by Envy and Activision. Kind of interesting it went all the way up to that point, but his lawyers, I guess, decided, okay, maybe let's just change 1 or 2 things around in this video before it goes live. I imagine it will arrive eventually, and there could be some good content to talk about after champs, no doubt. So this is kind of how things go in the rest of the threads, because he talks about the roster change as it goes down. So when Dallas Empire weren't looking so good towards the end of stage 2, they decided, okay, maybe a change is due here. When we replaced Kylo with FeLo, that was of course when they made the initial move, we told Tyler, that being FeLo, that it was very likely that it was only a temporary move. Tyler took a lot of the flack and still gave 110% every single day despite knowing this. It was also done so into that being ILLey could start running an SMG in preparation for who we wanted at the time. So very interesting. Okay, like ILLey on the SMG, so ILLey and Shotzzy on the SMG, Crim still on the AR, and therefore they're going to try and replace FeLo with another assault rifle player that comes into that team. And who would that have been but CLAYSTER? Can you believe it? The person we wanted was CLAYSTER above everyone. As Clay is an AR, we were fine with running group matches with FeLo and having it indoor on the SMG until we got CLAYSTER in. But trade negotiations fell through after subliners got second in stage 3, so we can't really be mad at that. Just unfortunate. Of course, in the end they pick up Vivid the Warrior, as we'll talk about here in a second. This is quite the revelation, to be honest, because we thought at the start of the season, yes, Dallas Empire made the decision, Huke, Shotzzy, they would stay as a trio, the Zeo trio or whatever, Crimsix will join them instead of CLAYSTER. And there was some talk, Crimsix I'm pretty sure even said recently that they were discussing, look, could we have a 5-man roster? Could we still have CLAYSTER here and kind of swap players out on the fly in terms of, making that work? But Clay, of course, wanted to go somewhere else and starting to win championships elsewhere. And of course, built a great team with the New York Subliners in the middle of the season at least, before things have fallen apart somewhat. But Crim and CLAYSTER, at least in terms of their placings, are the best duo of all time. In terms of the amount of tournaments they've attended and the amount of tournaments they've won, their average placing is less than 2. On average, they have an average placing of 1.8 or something, which is just ridiculous as a duo from all the way back in the day on Complexity and even to last season on the Dallas Empire. So very impressive duo as a squad. It's no doubt really that they continue to want a team together. Now, I didn't really think this could ever work in a 4 versus 4 setting, right? It's kind of strange to me to think about. CLAYSTER, of course, would be a main AR. Crimsix, I guess, would go onto that kind of flex role, almost like he was doing on Apocalypse, where he'd pull out an SMG from time to time. But Crim is also a very aggressive main assault rifle as of late for the Dallas Empire, right? He's putting up crazy engagements. So maybe it even could work having Crim and CLAYSTER in a 4 versus 4 setting. But going into the off-season, when we knew it was going to go to 4v4, that was the big question, right? It was always, okay, would Crim go from the Dallas Empire? Would it be CLAYSTER that goes? And of course, well, it was one or the other as it turned out. But maybe in hindsight, they think, well, we should probably have stayed together the entire time. The problem was for Dallas, when they were trying to make these moves, that it was actually CLAYSTER and the subliners that were looking their best they have all season. So this, of course, is what happens on the 23rd of April. That's when Huke initially is benched. FeLo comes into the starting lineup, earned his shot to compete there most certainly. And at a roughly similar time, a month or so later, there was the situation going down with the subliners reaching their best form all season. This is where they beat FaZe in the winners finals and end up making it to the grand finals, where FaZe would come back from the lower brackets and beat them anyway. But still, very impressive stuff from the subliners as it was at the time. This is where their team looked the best, no doubt, with CLAYSTER in, Asim, Hydra and Mac most certainly. But yeah, since then things have gone significantly downhill for that squad, and all of a sudden CLAYSTER's probably thinking, wow, if things had gone differently this season, I might have had the opportunity back on the Dallas Empire. Would that have even worked though? That is another question, because I guess, well, it would have been FeLo that went out, and it would have been Huke that went out. There'd have been ILLey and Shotzzy on the SMGs, Crim and CLAYSTER on the main AR. I personally, I'm not sure that team would have been quite as good as this squad is right now, because I'm not sure how good ILLey would actually be on that SMG. Seems to be finding a lot more comfort lately on that Krieg, but certainly a lot of questions to wonder how things could have gone this season. That would have been quite the quite the storyline, right? Given CLAYSTER comes into this season talking about, okay, I want to retire with the subliners, want to find an organization to stick with for the rest of my career, and just 3 months into the season pretty much, there's discussions already going on with Dallas Empire to go back to the team that he won the World Championship with last season, given Huke, of course, was departing. And just to finish off the thread that was being said right here, so we all felt really bad about what was happening with the situation regarding FeLo. I'm assuming that Clay wanted to play with us again. I see everyone giving Clay crap right now, but I can't really blame him for feeling the way he does right now with the difficulties he's having over at the subliners. With that being said though, Vivid has proven he can fly with the Eagles and has been the most random yet most fortunate pickup I'd ever been a part of. Guys really in the workshop day in day out. I'm really liking where the team is at right now. So interesting to think about the fact that Vivid may not have even been their intention, it just kind of happened on the fly in the end. They were trying to get CLAYSTER, they ended up getting Vivid, and in theory, looking back at it, maybe that's a more sensible pickup given that ILLey's really found his comfort on this AR, and when he used the SMG for a bit when FeLo was in the team, it seemed like it really wasn't working for them. So very interesting stuff. Very much intrigued certainly to hear your thoughts in the comment section below, but it does raise the question, what can happen going forwards, right? If CLAYSTER is, if Crim and CLAYSTER are still very keen to team with each other again, and CLAYSTER and the subliners, maybe they decide, okay, we're going to build around Asim and Hydra, and they don't want to play with CLAYSTER anymore because they felt like he quit on them or whatever, that we talked about yesterday to some degree, then does this duo come back together again? Does it work in 4 versus 4? That's a question we still might well have, and what happens next season, because Shotzzy's certainly going to stay. So honestly, so many questions as a result of this. Kind of surprised that this revelation came out, to be honest, from Crimsix. I did not expect this to be the case just a few months after they win the World Championship and depart, that CLAYSTER was even on the cards to come back to the Dallas Empire. Very much intrigued to hear your perspective in the comment section below. Just to finish off with this, from about a year ago today on this day 2020, yesterday that being, this is when Mythic starts a Game 5 round 11 1 versus 2, and Modern Warfare might not be the prettiest game of all time, but still, this is a pretty legendary moment where Toronto Ultra managed to win their own home series in that 5 versus 5 environment. Method got the job done in the end. Very much intrigued to hear your thoughts on all this in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. Really helps out the YouTube algorithm. You enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and upgrade the competitive quality community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care, and I will see you next time.
Back and forth. MajorManiak as well popping dead sides. They're very worried about their mid street. Priestahh, numbers to FaZe again. 20 seconds to go. You've got to be decisive here if you're Ultra. You've got to find an opening. CleanX has a massive gunfight here, and he's able to win it. aBeZy's going to get dropped. The dead silence is going to reset now for CleanX. 3 versus 3. Bomb getting planted. Rallying over is going to be FaZe, and now they've got to make the retake happen. 3 versus 3. CleanX is able to get away with his life. Methods with his second kill of the round. It's down to MajorManiak and Priestahh to come up with the clutch. MajorManiak's tagged up. Priestahh makes it a 2 versus 2. Can they find the opening?
Got 3 on the round. Priestah's got 3 on the round. What else can he find? 25 seconds, 7.5 seconds to defuse.
Here goes MajorManiak. It's CleanX to deal with. He finds the opening. It's 1v1. It's 1v1 and Methods clutches again. He goes huge for Ultra.